Welcome back to Wanna Parlay, One Leg Short, where everybody was one leg short of being on the leaderboard this week. Coming in at number 5, we had user Paul Crew 19. He had a full Mavericks versus Thunders parlay and a few UFC Fight Night fights. Starting with the UFC, he had Veronica Hardy beating JJ Aldrich. Hardy pulled this one off with the final decision win. He had Trey Waters beating Billy Goff, which was another fight decided by the refs. For the last fight on the parlay, he had Jaquan Buckley to beat Ruzbev, who was also a decision win. Moving over to the Thunder, he liked his points, assist, rebounds, going with the over 42.5 for Shea, who ended with a great 47, as well as the under 49.5 for Luka, who ended with a close 42. That all hit for the young Thunder team to just take that loss in Game 3. If this would have all hit for Paul Crew 19, he would have ended up first on the leaderboard this week. Unfortunately, he was one leg short. Coming in at number 4, we had user Carson Kaufman, who had a bit of everything. Starting off with basketball, he had Dallas to win and the game did not go into overtime. Also going over on points for Shea and under for Kyrie, who both barely pulled it off, with Shea ending with 31 and Kyrie ending with exactly 22. What a sweat. Also correctly getting both Pacers-Knicks games and Nuggets-Timberwolves game to not go into overtime. Moving over to the 2 UFL games, going over points for both, hitting those with ease. Lastly, he had Chelsea versus Nottingham Forest, with Nottingham Forest plus 0.5 spread. Going up late in the game, 2-1, it was looking good. Then Chelsea tying it up 2-2 in the 80th minute, still looking to hold on to the spread. Then on the 82nd minute, Chelsea scored again and making the final score 3-2. Chelsea busting this one. If this would have all hit for Carson, he would have been first on the leaderboard this week. Unfortunately, he was one leg short. Coming in at number 3, we have user R. Willis, who is all over with his betting style. Starting with the Timberwolves Nuggets game, he had the game to not go into overtime, as well as the Mavericks Thunders game. Moving it over to the Pacers Knicks game, starting with correctly getting the Knicks to score first, the Pacers plus 6 spread, and the game to not go into overtime. Going with the over 48.5 points, assists, rebounds for Jalen Brunson, who ended with a huge 55, as well as the over 22.5 for Dante DiVincenzo, who ended with a big 29. The Knicks were really moving on this game. Getting Josh Hart right as well with over 0.5 steals, ending the game with 3. Finishing off with the over 0.5 turnovers for Mitchell Robinson, who ended with 1, and was under 3.5 for Jalen Brunson, who had a crushing 4 turnovers. Barely putting it over. That is a crushing way to not be on the leaderboard this week by 1 turnover. If everything would have hit, he would have been on first, but unfortunately, he's one leg short. Coming in at number 2, we have user Mac Austin 13, who had a crazy 133.02 point parlay that was so close to hitting. Starting night strong with the Cavs-Celtics same game parlay, predicting the Celtics to win. Over points for both Donovan Mitchell, 27.5, and Derek White, 16.5, who has been incredible so far in this Cavs-Celtics series. He had the over assist for both Donovan Mitchell, 4.5, and Jason Tatum, 4.5, as well as Jason Tatum's over 9.5 rebounds, securing all of those for that game. Moving over to the next game of the night, the Mavericks versus Thunder, getting the winner right with the Thunder and Shea's over 28.5 points, with him ending with a close 29. But Luka struggled scoring all series, and this game was no different, with him having the over 31.5 for him, and he only ended with 19. The magic was not there for Luka this game. This would have put him first on the leaderboard this week as well, but unfortunately, he was one leg short. Coming in at number 1, let me tell you about the man, the myth, the legend, user RTG Kyle, who had 6 parlays that were 1 leg away from being first this week. 6. I'll take you through each of the parlays and why it failed. Starting with the first parlay, everything hit without much of a worry, but Denver took game 4 versus the Timberwolves, losing that one. Going over to slip 2, we have one that looks so good, but the young phenom Chase Hooper beat Borshev by submission, which some would say was a bit of a controversial call with his tapping. Let me know what you guys think. Another one ruined by UFC Fight Night with Charles Johnson beating Jake Hadley by decision with the third slip. These have all been so close. Moving to our last few, we have the Cavaliers losing against the Celtics, Manchester United not scoring and losing this one, and lastly, the young phenom Thunder team ruined it for another one of our bettors. Each one of these were so close to putting Kyle in first this week. Kyle is going to be on a revenge tour next week. These all easily would have been first this week for him, but unfortunately, they were all one leg short. Thank you all for watching this episode of One Leg Short. If you have a parlay that was one leg short that you'd like to feature on our episodes, feel free to go submit up any of our socials that will be in the description below. Good luck in this week's tournament, and I'll see you soon.